Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you, or basically last thing I'm going to show you, is you can thank Bill Donahue if you haven't seen his video. This is absolutely amazing. It's a great way to be able to comprehend a very complex subject. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive in. So, first thing I want you to know is that there is a group of scientists who did an experiment with photons of light. And what they did is they had a light here, or a photon here, they had a photon here, and they had a photon here. And the goal of this experiment, and we labeled them A, B, and C. Okay? Very simple. The goal of the experiment was to get A to C. Okay? Now, the problem is that photons are chaotic. They're all over the place. There's no order, there's no rhyme, and there's no reason. And therefore, you cannot get A to concentrate enough to get to C. So they excluded A from the experience, and what they did is they worked on coupling B and C. Well, how do you couple light that's all over that place, all over the place? You polarize it, right? You give it a direction. So what they did is they polarized this one right here, so this would run this way, and they polarized this one right here, so it had a perfect balance. They balanced each other. Perfect, no problem whatsoever. But we still haven't solved the problem. We are trying to get A over to C. Well, the moment that they were able to do this and keep this balance right here, it now allowed for B to migrate over to A. See, because it didn't require A to go to B or A to go to C. It required a collection already of unified photons to move over to A. Well, what happens when you take a collection of unified photons and you move it into a collection of chaotic photons? Well, they cancel each other out. Okay? So B moves over to A, cancels it out, and becomes the new A. But by representation, B becomes the new A, the upgraded A. Okay? Now, the problem with this is that C is not connected to A, it's connected to B. But because of the fact that B moved over, aka sacrifice, aka moved into, it's still in here, which then changes this just to another B. Okay, so basically it moved over, it took over A, and therefore became the new B. And so now that you have the new B that still holds A, you have a connection. You see, because the moment that you changed this one, you changed A into B, made it so that it instantly connected with C. If you're going to change the polarization for B, you have to change the polarization for C. Okay? So the moment that it moved over here, it made a connection this way. And because it made a connection this way based off of balance, you have now brought A over to C by absorbing A first. Okay? Now, the reason I use the word absorbing is because this is also an example of quantum mechanics and that number 137. Everything is a light wave. Okay? Everything around you is a light wave. And there are even particle or waves of matter that don't actually have light on them at this point in time. So everything is a wave, but then with light, it becomes a light wave. And so you have this light wave that then hits a point right here. It's the point of choice. This is the 137 or the fine structure constant, and it decides whether or not it is going to continue a wave or whether or not it is going to turn into a particle of light. Okay? It's the exact same thing. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because it was Bill Donahue who was able to use this information to apply it to the understanding of Father, Son, and us, or Jesus, God, and us, or Krishna, us, and God, or Muhammad, Allah, and us. Okay? Doesn't matter how you do it. And it works like this. Okay? If we are A, Jesus, or any of those that I mentioned, is B, and God is C. Okay? So, in other words, we're all sporadic, trying to figure our stuff out. We're never going to connect to C. We are never going to connect to God. Okay? By ourselves, we are never going to connect to God. Why? Because we're all over the place. We're not even in a focused agreement on where we want to move. And God is over here at a place of just solidarity, understanding, oneness. And so, therefore, because one person gets to make a choice not to be a part of it, you can't go that direction. Now, if you were to get every single part of your body aligned, which is what aligning your chakras is about, then you could actually cross over through the filter, which is, if you remember when I talked about black holes, you have a event horizon, okay, the filter that basically blocks you. So through love, because it's faster than the speed of light, you would be able to get to God. But that would take literally cleaning out your body of all fear and only choosing unconditional love. Okay, it's a big journey. That's a big step, and therefore many people do not go this path. The way that they actually go is they understand that Jesus and God are balanced. Father, Son, however you want to view it. Body, spirit. Okay, they're balanced. One has a polarization, the other one has a polarization. Okay? Then you end up having Jesus, or the experience of this, come into you. You bring it into your life. You choose the path that you want to, and you bring it into your life. And when you do that, you get rid of who you were, right? You completely get rid of who you are. You change everything about yourself. You change your walk, you change your talk, you change the way that you interact in the world. Okay? And once you do that and you become B at this point, right? You become Christ consciousness, you become even consciousness in general, then you end up having a perfect balance back with God and therefore have a relationship with God. Okay? So in other words, from us to God will not work. But take the relationship that you have learned from your books, from your experiences, from your stories, find the balance between the two, take the experience that has already come and bring it into your life. Walk the walk, become this, and you will have a relationship with God. All right? That's it. That's the whole point. Keep your 9 vibes aligned.